Welcome to Sooner Showdown with Bill Teegins and Rich Lenz.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our pregame look at today's Hancock Bowl. The Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Tech Red Raiders are coming up here on TV9. Kickoff just about a half hour away. Oklahoma is a 6.5-point favorite to defeat the Red Raiders. OU has already knocked off 3 Southwest Conference opponents this year. Sooners have been in El Paso for almost a week for all the festivities down there, and Rich Lenz is in El Paso now, and he joins us live. Rich, I guess the first question, how's the weather today?
Well, Bill, thank you very much, and welcome to Sun Bowl Stadium here in El Paso. And now I know why they call it the Sun Bowl, because it is absolutely gorgeous out today, not a cloud in the sky. Let's take a look. Stan Chase, our photographer, let's do a panorama. There couldn't be a more beautiful setting for a football stadium, really. You've got the Franklin Mountains in the background and a decent crowd on hand. They don't expect a sellout right now, but hopefully it's a late arriving crowd. They're getting their Christmas shopping done, and they're going to join us for this game between Texas Tech and Oklahoma. Now, the interesting thing is no wind. Last night, there was a shrieking wind. It came howling through this football stadium, sustained at 50 miles an hour. At the airport, they thought they might have to divert some of the airplanes because of the very stiff wind. It came up unexpectedly. It left unexpectedly. If it shows up today, I guarantee you they're not going to be able to throw the football. But I don't think that's going to happen. Now, I'm not a Gary England, but I think the wind's going to be nice and calm, and we're going to have excellent weather for what should be a high-scoring football game here in the Hancock Bowl. Bill?
Okay, thank you, Rich. We'll check back with you in just a few minutes. You know, the Sooners have not played a game since the day after Thanksgiving. A lot has happened since then with workouts in Norman and El Paso, plus some time off for the players for finals. And that gave me a chance to sit down and visit with the Sooners head coach, Gary Gibbs. We talked about a lot of things, from this year's squad to the criticism he has to face as the Sooners head coach. It's been 5 football seasons since Gary Gibbs was named Oklahoma's head coach. There have been a lot of ups and downs in those 5 seasons. This is his second bowl game as Oklahoma's head coach, and even though that Big A title didn't come his way, he knew that this would be a pretty good team.
I don't know if anybody can predict the number of wins, the number of losses, and how individuals will play each and every week, but we knew we'd have a good football team. Our kids have worked too hard over the last 9 months, 10 months. They've committed themselves to this season. I think it's a very unselfish football team, and we knew that going in. We got better as the season progressed.
The Sooners' 8-3 record is the second best mark a Gary Gibbs team has produced. He feels good about what will happen in the future for Oklahoma, especially when it comes to recruiting.
I think this is a pivotal year, though, Bill, in terms of this recruiting class. We took a big step last year. Again, we're a good football team. We took a big step. Our kids worked hard. Our numbers are still down, but I think if we can go out and have a top-notch recruiting class, bring some people in that can help us next year, bring in the kind of people that want to be here and are willing to go out there and work and compete and commit themselves to this program, I think we can take another step, and we're receiving a great response from kids across the country.
Has Gary Gibbs changed in his 5 years as a head coach? Well, many people say he was much more animated this year along the sidelines, and he says he probably has changed a bit.
Hopefully, as we struggle through those tough times, you know, we've all pulled together, and we all realize that really it's the work ethic and the attitude that's going to mean the most, and hopefully I've encouraged those kind of things. You know, how I've changed, again, I think other people could tell you probably better than I could. I still want to win. I'm still as competitive today as I was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I'm more pleased, though, Bill, with where our program is today than I've been in a long, long time.
Any coach is watched closely by the fans and the media, but more so at Oklahoma. Gibbs has been harshly criticized by many people over the years, but he says he really doesn't worry about it.
We're our own harshest critics. I don't worry about what other people say, because those people don't know me, and those people don't know what we're trying to do, and they don't know the effort that's being put forth. We're never pleased when we lose or when we're not successful, but I think, Bill, we knew somewhat the evolution that this program would go through. A lot of people think it's the quarterback and the head coach that makes or breaks a program, and nothing's further from the truth. We all have to be on the same page, and we all have to be moving in the same direction.
If you weren't a football coach, what would you be doing?
Well, I've got an MBA from the University of Oklahoma, and I had an opportunity to get in the business world after receiving that MBA, so possibly real estate, possibly some consulting. You know, I like that phase of things when I was in the business school, and you know, that's something that I think I enjoy down the road.
Gibbs' overall record at Oklahoma, by the way, now stands at 37-22-2. There's much more still to come. We'll go back.
We're joined by Donnie Duncan, the athletic director at Oklahoma. And Donnie, you were the executive director of this bowl for a couple of years. It's got to be a little special to bring your own team back here for a game.
Yeah, this is a special bowl. It's been in existence for 60 years. CBS has been telecasting this game for 26 years. Special people here. Sooners are special, so it is a special day.
Talk, you know, I know you have a fondness for the bowls, and a lot of people are saying, hey, the bowls aren't working, we should have a playoff. Can the bowls and a playoff go hand in hand? What do you think?
I'm involved in a lot of things right now that indicate that a mixture is possible. My feelings about the bowls are that they pay us a lot of money in college football, and we need to be sensitive to that and take care of that and do things in the proper way as far as how we do business with them, and then how we might change to do business better for them and us.
I know you're very interested in at least exploring the possibilities of growth for the Big 8 and the Southwest Conference. That gets talked about a lot, whether it be with the Southwest Conference or somewhere else. But the coaches were asked about it this week. What about it? Could you ever see a marriage between the Southwest and the Big 8?
Well, maybe in some form. There have been a lot of discussions. There are discussions that are going on right now all over the country. We don't know what the Big Ten's thinking about and who they're looking at. We don't know what the Pac-10's doing. We don't know what the Southeast Conference is doing. So everyone is having some dialogue about possibilities.
Just very quickly, Donnie, what about the seniors in this game? Gary's first recruiting class. Some special people are going to leave this program today.
Great kids, a special group, came in a troubled time, had to fight their way through some difficulties. So a good way to end it up with a bowl game for them. And really a group that those of us close to the program will always have a feeling of appreciation for.
Well, Donnie, we appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Thank you very much. Enjoy the bowl game. Good. Bill, we're going to toss it back to you right now.
Okay, thank you, Rich, and good luck to the Sooners. Donnie Duncan, thanks for stopping by today. You know, it's been a while since Oklahoma had an All-American in football, but that doesn't mean there isn't an All-American on the football team. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you, here's Stan Chase, who hopefully can explain it all.
In recent years, people have noticed that Oklahoma hasn't had an All-American on the football field since Dante Jones back in 1987. Now, that's not exactly true. Darius Johnson is an All-American in track.
There's a lot of All-Americans in track, and I felt that I was just one of the bunch, you know, that was honored. But then, you know, come back and think about it, it is a big honor. You know, I was, you know, it was different because it wasn't in football, you know, because you want to be All-American in football. But I mean, track, it didn't come on to me until, you know, later on, a couple of months later, and then you know, I got excited about it.
Darius runs the third leg on the Sooners' 4x100-meter relay team, winning the Big 8 title and finishing fourth at the NCAA's. It's that kind of talent that could make Johnson a two-sport All-American.
If he doesn't, I'm going to be disappointed. I think he can be as good as he wants to be. Again, he's got to learn. He's got to continue to grow. He's got to continue to work out in the weight room. He's got to do a lot of things to get there. But he has got the potential to be as good a corner as the Big 8's seen in a while, and he needs to understand that. I think he does, and I think he'll be working toward it in '94.
It would mean something to me if I, you know, someday be an All-American on the football field and in track. So I think that would be, you know, a little bit better.
There are, of course, the similarities between football and track, speed, quickness. But perhaps there's an even more important carryover from one sport to the other.
I think it's a positive more than anything else in the competition area. I think they get juiced when they get on the 4x1 team, or they get on the running the 1 or the 2, and Darius has done a good job of that. And quite frankly, I think it's more competition than it is just the conditioning aspect.
All-American status aside, Johnson is at OU to play football, and he's done a more than adequate job. He always draws the coverage on the opponent's top receiver, and his 5 interceptions led the Big 8.
He's got a world of talent, and his work ethic has gotten better. His maturity level's better, and that's what's making him play better, I think. I think he's had the talent before, but I think he's finally realized now that, you know, the years go by in a hurry. You got to compete. You got to earn your spurs while you can. And again, he'll be gone from Oklahoma before he turns around.
So keep an eye on the Sooners' number 42. He's All-American, Darius Johnson. Stan Chase, Sportsline 9.
Thanks, Stan. Again, kickoff is coming up. The Red Raiders and Sooners here on TV9 and CBS. We'll be back with more after we take this time out.
McKinley driving and scoring for Oklahoma.